my number? Okay. From Team Liquid, it is Snute. In the top right, it is the Challenger, scanned under a barcode. HeroMarine. HeroMarine opting for the gas first. Whereas Snute, on the other hand, is he going to go for a pull first? We'll have to see. We're on Cactus Valley, and these positions are pretty favorable for a Terran player who wants to be able to drop a Zerg, because there's a direct line of airspace up towards this main base. So, we will have to see. But Snute, unfortunately, sending his first Overlord the wrong direction. Of course, he doesn't know that. They don't know where each other are quite yet. Alright, and the gas pull, it's just a hatch first. I say just, but it's a hatch first from Snute. With the pull follow-up, he's just going to get your very cookie-cutter, bread and butter of gas pull going on. I'm not going to read too much into the pull placement here. Is he trying to help wall off against a Reaper? Is he putting it in a position that's not very vulnerable to drops? Or does he just like putting a pull there? I don't know. You'd have to ask him, and if you've watched his stream, he probably explains it. But on the other side, we have HeroMarine opting for the gas first and a Reaper. So that means he's going to be able to get a factory follow-up. His expansion is slightly delayed, but it allows him to have the option, and I can only assume it's going to be factory. Because you don't go gas first into, like, well, I guess I'll just get 2 Reapers. It's like, no, that doesn't happen. This is for a quicker reactor to be able to get Hellions out at the cost of a few seconds on your X move. Alright, Snute, loading up those Queen. Notice, no more gas. Why don't I have continuous music? Keep going. I don't know why the music stops. I need time fill. Okay. God. Anyways, he's pulled off again. There we go. Oh, the music thing is still stuck up there. We're gonna... Sorry about that. Anyway. He's pulled completely off of gas. Not getting another single gas. Literally 0 in the tank here. So no option for Overlord speed early on. He wants 100% of these potential minerals, and he's going to use every little bit of them. Because he's a player with that much attention to detail. I usually leave 1 in gas because I'm bad and I'll forget to re-add them to gas. So it's like, well, I left 1 in there, so I now have like 100 gas when I need to get a lair or something. And that is the difference between me and Snute, on top of many other things. But the Reaper going to get driven away. Nothing, especially because he went for the gas first. His Reaper's slightly delayed because his barracks is slightly delayed. So the Reaper not really going to be able to threaten any drones or even pick up any Zerglings or something like that. It's pretty much just to keep Snute honest. You can't go 3 hatch before pull because then you lose like 5 drones, even to a later Reaper. The follow-up on the other side. This was advertised as a Raven game, and he's going to be opening up with a Raven on the other side. Cloaked Banshees are good, but Ravens are a lot more reliable as time goes on. Once you shut down a Banshee, it doesn't have too many options, but a Raven, auto turrets can be used defensively and offensively. You have detection to be able to clear out creep as well, which can save you a lot of minerals. And is that a Corvid reactor upgrade? Okay, wait a second. He actually invests in the Corvid reactor as well. So the starting energy of Ravens here, and he's actually just going to go... Ooh, I like this. Opening up with the Viking. The Viking will deny any scouting, along with these Hellions completely blocking any Zerglings from sneaking in. But the Viking clears out the Overlords. He has no idea a Raven's going to pop in, probably with 2 auto turrets ready to go. And if you spend even 3 seconds letting those auto turrets do their damage, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, more like 6 drones will go down before you even really realize what's happening. And at very little risk to a Terran player. There's nothing that's going to kill a Raven. They're not going to fly into a Spore Crawler. There's no mutas out. Queens do damage from a long range, but not long enough. A Baneling Nest is on the way. All right. So what Snute is scared of, or what Snute is preparing for... Oh, I love this. He's going to kill this, and he doesn't see any Raven coming out. The Viking might be a bit of a tell, but he sees a starport with a tech lab upgrading. He can see the research happening there. And you got to expect this to be Cloaked Banshees. You got to... Hellions and Cloaked Banshees go together like peanut butter and jelly. So the Raven opener isn't... It doesn't never happen, but it's not that common. And you have to prepare, even if you think it's Ravens, you still have to get the Spore Crawlers in order to be able to deal with, just in case it is Cloaked Banshees. So, the Baneling Nest is to deal with Hellbats. The Spore Crawlers are to deal with Banshees and maybe help against Ravens. So, Snute has been kind of forced into an all-purpose defense mode. He has to kind of sit back and get all his basic defenses. He has to push his creep, but keep his queens back because he doesn't actually know what he's dealing with here. Here comes the Raven with 100 energy, 2 auto turrets already. But Snute has a beat on it. Down goes an auto turret. A second one going to come up as well. He's actually going to use the Zerglings to deal with this, which is better than drones dying. Yeah, he's picked up 2 worker kills. I think he sniped him with the auto turret at the last second. Will force the Raven back as well. But literally 0 resources lost so far for HeroMarine. And everything else for Snute. Obviously, like 300 minerals. And he didn't really lose any drones, which puts him up to 60. How does he do that? I don't understand. Like, 62 drones. All right, whatever. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I got 5 queens or 7 queens and 62 drones and 1. I don't understand. Anyways. But the big thing here, no lair yet. We're 6 minutes into the game. He hasn't even started a lair. A 4th base is on the way before the lair even starts. And that is just that Snute style that works out so well from the auto turrets trying to be put down. And this forces the queens back. It's got to keep them honest. Yeah, there's no way that base is happening. But the queens getting assassinated by the auto turrets and the Hellions in support. Every one of these creep tumors goes down. No scan is required. And behind this all, HeroMarine has picked up a 3rd base of his own. A decent surround, but the auto turret going to lend a pretty major hand to this. Alright. And Snute has kind of been beaten back a little. A few queens have gone down. Okay, he lost a Hellion, or a Reaper, I'm not sure which, but he lost 100 resources. So finally, HeroMarine has lost a unit in this game. And now the war begins. Both of them going up to a ton of bases early on. Like, this is 4 bases versus 3. We're already at like 60 to 72. 62, but Ling gets up into the main. He gets a beat. Okay, this isn't Mech. This isn't Sky Terran. This isn't like Range Liberators. This is going to be a transition into a more standard bioplay. So, Snute can breathe a little bit easier. He doesn't have to completely switch up, maybe go into a bunch of Roach Ravager. Or, well, he's getting the Spire, but instead of getting Corruptors for, like, Liberators and Banshees, he'll be getting Mutas for just general anti-bio play. Get rid of Medivacs, clear out any random Hellions, do some harass, anything in between. Mutas are very mobile and very capable. And the beauty of this, he scans forward to make sure he's not going to get caught off guard. He doesn't need to scan the creep. He's got 3 Ravens, and they're all near, well, at least have a couple turrets in the bank. So how does Snute handle this overall? We've got HeroMarine. He's at 150 supply at the 8-minute mark. He's got 2-2 on the way, plus 1 mech armor here, or plating. Plating sounds cooler than armor, to be honest. Where's that scan? Let me... Oh. He actually scans forward once again to see where those units are going to end up. And that's a lot of Zerglings, but the auto turrets do come out, and they do support the Hellions. He did bait out a decent chunk of turrets. Snute can lose a few Zerglings, that's fine. As long as that energy is low, he can actually get rid of these units eventually. But the fact he still has Hellions and the Ravens out, this push coming out is absolutely incredible for this timing. He's got Hellbats, he's got Raven support, he's got 2-2 on the way. 2-2 is not on the way for either, not done for either side. Snute has it a little bit quicker, which is great for him. And the Mutas have completed, and that's a big kicker here. But there is no creep. He can jump right up in towards this natural to the 3rd, and he has to attack this critical point because he can't really go around, not with an army that is this slow. The auto turrets come out. The Hellbats are in front to tank the damage. The Banelings rolling in. At the same time, though, there's just not enough on the deck right now, and HeroMarine streams forward. A dozen Mutas and a lot of Banelings are coming up for round number 2. The Widow Mines are on the way. Good baiting. Out of those Widow Mines, none will connect on the Banelings. The Muta should be able to clean the floor with this. And clean up a couple of the Ravens as well as the Medivacs, too. So that is absolutely the best that Snute could have hoped for there. He's going to get the Medivacs, he's going to get the Ravens, and just barely clean that up. If those Widow Mines had connected on any of the Banes, this could have all gone the other way. And now some Mutas have gone down, but at the same time, the Medivacs and the Ravens have finally been removed from the field. Good anti-Widowmine play. Not great, though. And HeroMarine actually with the target on the mutas there, despite the Lings trying to eat the damage. Beautiful micro. Just taking advantage of the opportunity. And HeroMarine will maintain a solid supply. And now with 2-2 done, the creep is still cleared out. The muta count is not overwhelming. He's at 10, 12 mutas. It's not till about 18 or 20 mutas you have a real problem to deal with. At this point, he can still heads-up fight against those mutas with even a single medevac. A Widowmine hit could make all the difference. And he's taking a 4th base as well. Are we going to see that 3-3 laid down? That can make all the difference in the game. If he's able to get an upgrade advantage, because Snute, not even close to a hive. I don't even think he has an infestation pit. Alright. Dropping it down, definitely a planetary. That's an obvious choice right there. He's right in the face of Snute if he wants to counterattack, so he needs that planetary fortress. There's a wall and bunkers on the other side. Finally, Snute has been able to bounce back. But is it a little bit too late? Is HeroMarine too strong now? He hasn't started 3-3, but he does have a 4th base. He does have plenty of Widowmines. He's finished his 2-2, and he's denied a lot of creep spread. There we go, finally, with the 3-3. Taking this very seriously is HeroMarine. Not even going to give a chance to the mutas to counterattack. It's going to be up to 17 mutas in just a moment. Snute at 78 drones right now against 69 SCVs. Both these economies are at top-notch. You almost never see higher economies than this on either side. The Widowmines are going to connect with big hits, but they're still rolling through are the Banes. But not far enough. The muta count has... Actually, no mutas were involved in that fight. He held them back, and it did show. Another round of Banelings are coming in. Somehow he always has another one. No Widowmines to really deal with this, and he's using the Banes very effectively to spread out the damage. And once again, HeroMarine will push up into the natural, and once again, the mutas and the Banelings will beat it back. 162 to 160 supply. 3-3 is on the way, and that's the big timer here for Snute. He's got a lot of mutas, but against 3-3 Marine Marauder, especially with very little to no creep spread, the trades are just not going to make any sense anymore. No matter how many mutas you have, no matter how many Lings and Banes, a Terran player nearing 200 supply with 3-3 against 2-2 is going to be almost impossible to deal with as time goes on. Army supplies 105 to 83 in favor of our German Terran. The creep spread constantly being replenished here. Snute always with more queens in the bank. I'm not sure where he gets them from, but he pulls them out of his back pocket, and this creep spread is absolutely critical in taking good fights, even with even upgrades. The Marauders in the front to try to tank some of the damage, but they're all clumped up here. The Widowmine's being baited out, okay. There's one more in the back. One thing I gotta say, the Widowmine count is pretty low. Without the Widowmines, you can't really push onto the creep because the unit count is just too high. Oh, another Widowmine not quite gonna connect. The Muta's gonna do a good job. The constant tug of war, whatever you call it. But once again, HeroMarine stepping forward, Snute beating him back. The creep is the line in the sand, which neither player can really cross in order to take an engagement. But now the mutas are finally taking the fight. Heads up. He's gunning forward, and suddenly... Well, when it looked like HeroMarine might break through, it actually all went the other way. A couple transfuses on the mutas. The creep spread just enough. Some Banelings finished and connected. The Widowmines will be cleaned up. HeroMarine beaten back once again. He's replenished his forces, and now here's the big timing. 3-3 is done. He's down in supply. But these units with their medevacs above, if a Baneling connects, but then it's healed by a bunch of Marines, medevacs do the healing, that's the one, then it doesn't matter. Those Banelings are essentially wasted if it gets healed back up to full. So Snute trying to engage, but that 3-3 is done. The Baneling's just not getting the connections they need. He's off a creep. HeroMarine with the casual command center lift to the front of Snute's base because... You know, like, that would be great to have a planetary fortress there. And Snute can't step off this creep. He's dealing with a 3-3 Terran with only 2-2 Mutiling Bane. The pressure has been so heavy that Snute has had no breathing room, and he's choking right now. He can barely breathe because every time he steps away, this Terran player steps forward. And HeroMarine right on the edge of the creep. He's actually going to be able to build a planetary at the front door of Snute. The Baneling's not even killing the Marauders with their +3 armor there. Thank you, Risen Saga, for the sub. The Marauders stepping forward once again. The muta count is high, but not high enough to instantly clean these up. The Baneling's trying to connect forward, but the planetary's on the way. The creep has receded, and the upgrades are just not there when he needs them. More army streaming across. You see the blue on the minimap. Another massive force And I think Snute is being ground down bit by bit, Baneling by Baneling, Muta by Muta. The Planetary is nearly done. He's dry on Banelings. They've reached the 0 count, and suddenly there's nothing on the deck to really push this force back. And HeroMarine is finally pushing forward with all the space created by that Raven opener with the follow-up 3 command centers and keeping the Hellions alive so long. Snute was able to get a good economy, but he was never able to counterattack. And suddenly this 3-3 Terran with a Planetary at the front door looks like it's gonna be enough to take it home. Another round of Banelings, but the drones are off the line. And the Marines are gonna power through. GG. WP. And HeroMarine will take the match. And that was a pretty sick game. Thing is, his micro is so ridiculous. Like, his micro is so good. It's not even... Snute is incredible at macro, but HeroMarine just mechanically, all these units all the time. That was a good game. That was from HeroMarine's replay pack, by the way. Let's see if we're ready for this next round. Have to wait for all these. All right. What else? We got TVZ versus TLO. Why not? Why not? There's some names on that one. He's only masters when describing this one. Did Ravens really have that much impact? Well, what the Ravens do is they allow you... they didn't do a lot of damage on their own. They didn't do a lot of damage on their own. But just the presence of the Ravens meant that there was no ability to counterattack. Because you can't really deal with the Hellions. If you can't deal with the Hellions, there's no way Zerglings are getting across the map. And if you go Roaches, they're pretty easily countered with just general bio units. So the beauty of the Raven opening is that you kind of check off all your marks. One, you can put pressure on a Zerg player by threatening to kill drones. That's the first one. You're not expecting to kill a lot, but you can put pressure by potentially killing drones. At the same time, you don't have to spend scans to kill creep. So as long as you have the Ravens with the auto turrets, you can't get us around on the Hellions. And also we actually sniped some Queens. So while the Ravens themselves didn't do a bunch of damage, their presence prevented a lot of potential counter damage. And it kept HeroMarine in a position where he could easily expand and build up an army without ever feeling like there was going to be some sort of attack that would actually threaten him. So that was the situation there. But now we got HeroMarine versus TLO. In the bottom right is HeroMarine under the barcode. This is from his replay pack, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's him. In the top left, it is another Team Liquid Zerg player, TLO. We'll have to see how this one pans out. An interesting choice of placement on that spawning pool. I'm not sure what he means to accomplish with that. Is that just an area where you can kind of like jam a queen in, or because that's like really close to his larva there. I'm sure, knowing TLO, I'm sure there was a whole thought process and theory crafting and some sort of Excel spreadsheet going into the placement of this spawning pool, but I am not nearly good enough to understand it. So all right. On the other side, we have, I believe this was said to be a similar opening to the last one. As HeroMarine's been trying out that Raven opening and putting on a lot of pressure with it. Hellion Raven kind of covers all your bases. You have enough to potentially deal with Roaches, and if they have Roaches, they don't have any easy transition into things that will kill your Ravens. Ooh, bit of a mistake there. That was a bit uncharacteristic and just... Yeah, you shouldn't lose the Reaper. Simple enough. Don't lose the Reaper. But he did. So, he's not going to be able to... Oh. There was a pause there. But we have the luxury of not worrying about that. There's no such thing as technical difficulties here. Wait for my stream to go off now. But yeah, looks like we're going to have that Raven opening. We should have the Corvid reactor as well. That Raven starting energy upgrade. I like the choice to go for the Viking to clear out the Overlords to, one, just clear out the Overlords. That's good to do in a vacuum. And also because you're going for the Ravens, you reduce the possibility. Well, is it going to be a Viking? Yes. All right. And he starts that. No, okay. He missed good. But yeah, just clearing Overlords off the map is never a bad thing to do. But it's especially good if you're doing something a little bit less common, like going for the Raven funnel. That Zergling had a short but well-earned death. We have the Evo Chamber and Baneling semi-wall here. He saw the Hellions. This is already the immediate response. The Team Liquid Zerg seem to have a consensus saying, instead of going for like roaches to defend against the Hellions, it's Banelings and a decent queen count. So that seems to be the strategy they like. So the Viking comes out, guns down the Overlord. It won't get a scout of the starport, but obviously he knows the starport exists. This isn't some sort of two-factory Cyclone Hellion play or something like that. This is a starport follow-up. What does that mean to TLO? We're going to have to find out. This creep spread is already off. This is ridiculous. I believe he used his first creep tumor from the natural queen. I didn't quite, because the Reaper died at that point. I didn't quite point that out, but I'm reasonably sure he used the first queen that spawned from the second base to slap down a creep tumor. And that means his creep spread is just pushed out so far. Even with the Ravens, it's going to be very difficult to get rid of all this creep in a timely manner. It's all over the place on every side, almost maximum radius. So we'll have to see. And yeah, HeroMarine comes up. Oh, wait a second. It's already out here. I was like, okay, I guess you killed that Overlord. No, there's a Zergling. Not sure if this is intentional, just to be able to have like that vision, or if he's just happened to put it here. But the Raven comes out. The Hellions got to spend some actual time killing these creep tumors, which gives a bit more time for TLO to respond. Speed is done, but there are two turrets here. Right now, TLO trying to bait him out. And he's actually going to get a pretty good surround on the Hellions. So the Baneling was used to take out the auto turret, but the creep spread will be replenished. Every Hellion goes down, so not a great start here for HeroMarine. As he gets shut down. Every Hellion gets surrounded, taken out. Only a single Raven was there to support. So right now, TLO, still with ridiculous creep spread, has shut down the Hellions. I don't believe he killed the Raven, right? How many Ravens are there? There are two. Yeah, he didn't kill the Raven. But he killed all the Hellions and removed any opportunity to deal with that creep. This Viking was very ambitious, but not in a good way. Alright, so 1-1. Now, +1 Carapace is already finished for the Zerg. TLO's already picked that up right off the bat. He's going with the 1 Evo Chamber. He's got a second one now, but the lair hasn't finished yet, so he can't start off on that +2. And he just... You need to calm down. He's going for base 4, base 5. There's no macro hatch yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see one in the next few seconds. He's got creep spread over half the map. We're only 7 minutes in. HeroMarine, on the other hand, he's taken this top right base, and now... Here's why it's strong to take this base, if you can hold it. Because now you have a foothold to attack towards the Zerg, and where they're usually expanding. Instead of running back to your third base to defend, you can now use this as kind of a staging area to attack towards the Zerg player. And as a Terran player, a lot of the time, you're the one attacking, as opposed to the Zerg trying to attack into you. Just because of the nature of the matchup. So, while this is a little bit easier for TLO to get to, it still is better for HeroMarine to be able to move forward with this. Alright, no Baneling speed yet. 2-2 is on the way. It's still in the mail, but there's a little bit of a timing here with these, especially with these two Ravens, that HeroMarine can be out on the map doing a little bit of damage, clearing up the creep, and at least making it so TLO doesn't have this overwhelming, ridiculous force. 1-1 is almost done. Is there an armory completed? Yes, there is. So the 2-2 can start immediately. We'll have to see how on point he is with that. There it is. He's pretty good. The supplies are almost even. But make no mistake, when it comes to map control, upgrades, creep spread and just bases, TLO definitely has an edge. It's by no means game over. There's no chance. HeroMarine can't come back from this, but there is a lot of things going well right now for TLO. And if he just holds on to his base, it doesn't lose too much, and is able to take good engagements. Yeah, we got a lot of banelings coming up as well. Combat Shields is seconds away, but it's not completed yet. And another connection. He cleared up some creep, but it cost him several Marines there. Now, something to point out. There is no Spire, right? I'm an idiot. Okay, there is a Spire. I was about to say, there's no Spire, there's no Kicker. He's only got Ling Bane. Well, that was proven to be false, as a Spire just completed. And the Mutas are pushing. But at the same time, HeroMarine's on the creep. He's got a lot of Marines and a handful of Widow Mines with the auto turret support in here. His army supply is solid, and 2-2 is not done for TLO, so this is an essentially even fight, as long as it is off the creep. Even a Muta going down early on. Ooh, good connections on the Widow Mines so far. This multi-tiered, multi-platform, high ground, low ground attack out of HeroMarine, getting a lot of cost efficiency. We're seconds away from the 2-2 on TLO. But he took that fight right before it completed, so definitely not the best fight he could have taken. He cleans it up, but we gotta ask ourselves that question. At what cost? As we see HeroMarine been incredibly more efficient this game. It's just TLO's been afforded so much space on the map with creep spread and with bases that he's been able to trade and still lose that much more. 15 banelings are on the way. We've got a big counterattack here, but this Widow Mine is going to do work as all of those Zerglings are going down. 2-2 is not quite done yet, but the units are coming back to defend. HeroMarine does have a bit of a forward mine setup as well to help deal with any counterattacks towards his third base. And once again, HeroMarine showing that mechanical skill. 167 to 146 supply, where it looked like TLO had control. Oh, Jesus. Once again, the Widow Mine connecting. Will get taken out, but it gets 2 good hits off. And HeroMarine is confident, or, well, I guess he's chosen to go forward, and he's not going to take 1 step forward, only to take 2 steps back. This might be a mistake here. The Mutas, well, the SCVs will retreat in time. They will withdraw. The Banelings, oh, no! 15 SCVs. It looked worse than it was. But a lot of Mutas were shaved off at the same time. This army did get taken out for the most part, but the Medivacs will escape. And that means HeroMarine can keep pushing. Without Medivacs, no chance, but he still has 5 or 6. These Ravens are somehow still alive. He doesn't even need to scan for the creep, giving him more money for these incredibly important Marines. The Banelings are coming forward, splitting to minimize the Widow Mine damage. He's doing a pretty good job so far, but HeroMarine picks up his Widow Mines right before they're going to get baited into an Overseer, and suddenly he's turned this all around. He's gone deep onto the creep, though, and this could be a mistake. The Widow Mines are allowed to live, but not for very long. And despite the fact TLO looked like he might turn this around, good Baneling connections, but somehow HeroMarine just has too many units. And he pushes forward. TLO tried the counterattacks, he tried to push forward, but HeroMarine just kept his unit count up. He had the Widow Mines in the right places to not only give him warning of attacks coming in, but also prepare for them. And TLO struck down at every turn. And suddenly HeroMarine's up 40 supply, and that should just be about GG right there. And I feel for our Zerg player here, as so many times against Terran, it looks like you're doing good. You got plenty of creep spread, so many Banes, 2-2 in a timely manner, 5 bases. But then players like HeroMarine say, that's nice. I don't care. And push forward with the Widow Mines, the Marines, the Marauders, and the Medivacs. And yeah, there's a Zergling counterattack, but I'm pretty sure HeroMarine is all out of fucks to give as he pushes onto the creep without even clearing it. I'm pretty sure the Ravens finally died, but at this point it doesn't even matter. Hive is done, but there's no Ultras, there's no 3-3, there's no Adrenal Glands, and there's very little hope. Yeah, he's retreating over to HeroMarine's side of the map. That's how you know desperation. But this should just be about this. Yeah, some good counterattacks by TLO. He's pinned up against a wall and he's fighting back, but I think HeroMarine has him cornered here. And he should be able to close it out. There's just not enough. He's 64 supply, 37 drones. 3-3 on the way for his no units. And HeroMarine once again, with that mechanical skill, taking it down. And GG. Soon. One sec. Or maybe one more engagement. But yeah. Even if all the banelings got money connections, there would still be enough Marines to power through here. This is that, well, I've got banelings and I hate Terran, so I'm gonna attack. GG. And HeroMarine takes it home. That was a good game as well. Kind of putting on a clinic there of how to just kind of stay cool against a Zerg player who seems to have everything. Now you see Terran players, like I was saying, probably not so profoundly in my tutorial,